Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu Namashri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchitsukasvarupaya Swamini Tapaharini वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. So let us continue our study of the Gita. We are in the second chapter. Where here, as we discussed last time, Sri Krishna is trying to first clear the intellectual cobweb or the confusion or the mess in the mind of Arjuna. Then he would address the emotional aspect. पहले तो आपको समझें तब तो then only you can control the emotions. So first he is really taking on trying to make him understand clearly intellectually what is the true nature of our existence, etc., etc. उसके बाद उन्होंने उनके बाकी बस समझाएंगे. Now, as we said last time, he said, it is Ashochan Anvashocastvam Prajnavadam Sabhashase Gatasu na Gatasosche Nanashochanti Pandita. So you are really grieving for those who should not be grieved for or mourned for. Kyun? Because they truly wise weep neither for the dead nor for the living being. Because they know that is the nature of the life. ये जगत में क्या है? Whatever you do in this life, unless you really reach the supreme goal of life, और आपकी जीवन उसकी तरह नहीं हो, then आप जीवित होवे भी आपके जीवन में विशेषता कुछ नहीं. And they also essentially know that this life on earth is impermanent. 2 दिन के लिए कभी भी जा सकता है, अभी है तो काल नहीं है, ऐसी स्थिति है. So they are the really wise ones. They do not grieve. ऐसे नहीं है अपना सब करते हुए तो करेंगे, but they will not be overtly bothered about life and death, etc., etc. But you are talking as if you are a very wise person. It's because you do not understand the real nature of life. इस कारण से तुम ऐसे से बात कर रहे हो. नत्वेवाहम जातु नाशम नत्वम नेमे जनाधिपः नचैवन भविष्यामः सर्वे vayamatas param. So he says never was there time when I did not exist. We covered all these. Have we gone further? We checked this mark. Yes. So, and also there was neither a time where I did not exist, nor did you did not exist. So here Sri Krishna is really coming down to the level of Arjuna, forgetting or considering the fact that he is a very Lord himself. वो बात नहीं करके भी साधारण रूप से समझा रहे हैं, because as souls we keep on taking birth, birth happens, the cycle goes on till we are fully liberated और मोक्ष पाने की पहले तक ये जाना आना तो चलता रहता है. Is coming and going, agama payino nitya. So that is why he says there was never a time when I was not, because एक मृत्यु की बात the Jivatma takes a new, the Sukshma Sharira and the Karan Sharira, they take recourse to another body, and again the existence starts. So practically there is no time when I was not there. Similarly, आप भी हमेशा ही रह चुके हैं. You are there. If you go now, again you will take another body unless you are completely liberated. So similarly, nachayvana bhavishyamaha sarve vayamata param. So neither you nor me nor all these janadipaha, all these rajas, etc., nor shall all of us cease to be hereafter. There is in the past तो हम लोग हमेशा रहे, अभी भी रहते हैं, भविष्य में हम सब भी रहेंगे, because again at the end of this life there will be a new life. So it's a continuous thing. So there is nothing to be wondered about. So unless we understand the real nature of life, the grief will not go, is it not? कोई गुजर जाए, कुछ हो जाए, how people weep inconsolably, everything is gone, that kind of idea. Why? Because we think that this is the end of everything. ये शरीर चले जाए, ये हो जाए, nothing else. But if we really understand the nature of life itself is impermanent, of course, देखिए that kind of thinking etc. they don't happen overnight. अचानक तो नहीं होगा आपका हमेशा. See, there are various ways in which people can learn. आप देख देख के आपका जीवन में भी बहुत कुछ घटनाएं हुई. So many incidents have happened in our lives. So if you are really reflective in nature, if you really think, it's not at all difficult to understand the impermanent nature of life. Or similarly, and of course, now a lot of studies have also happened how the, in fact, that is the very basis of Hinduism, the rebirth, a reincarnation. क्योंकि आपकी कई बार जीवन में पता चल ये मेरा कैसे पता हुआ, मैं ऐसे कैसे कर रहा हूँ, because you, along with you, all your samskaras, your desires, unfulfilled desires, your karmas, karma phala, etc., they go to the next body. That is one of the reasons why we should be ethical, moral, pure, spiritual seekers, God oriented. ये सब क्यों बता रहे हैं? Otherwise, you'll only be accumulating and you'll have to pay for all that. See, one of the very basic reasons for ethics, morality, etc. in Hinduism is the idea you are responsible for your actions. आप कुछ करके निकल जाए, ऐसा हो नहीं सकता है. Whatever you do is going to come back to you. इनफैक्ट जैसे आप बहुत घोर तरह ऐसा कुछ करें, यही जन्म में उसका फल आ जाए, वो भी इतना भी कहते हैं. They go to that extent. Normally, whatever you do, you carry on, that gets accumulated in the next birth, you again experience that. So he says, so what is the idea? Why are you grieving? Because it's not, the journey is not going to end here. We are going to come back again. And then he says, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara prapti dhirastatranam hyata. So the dehinosmin, this dehe, the embodied soul, dehina, in this body. So from childhood, yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. So that is from the childhood to youth to old age, it goes on. We started the same eye. The eye today, is it different from the eye which was in childhood, or is it different from the eye which was in youth? That is always there constantly. This awareness, the eye, the I-ness, the isness, or the me-ness, that is always there. But then the scenario keeps changing. You are in the childhood, then you are in the youth, then in the old age, then finally death also. But if you recollect, in any way, do you think that I-ness or the me, the feeling, that awareness, is it different essentially from childhood to youth to old age? No, that is always there. The scenario, the experiences, maybe your senses are more powerful now. You are able to understand things better. You are studying, you have a degree, maybe a job, you have wealth, you have this, all that. But that awareness, it is always there. So all these, they keep on changing. Kaumaram, Yavanam, Jara, and childhood to youth to this. Tata dehantara prapi dhiras tatranamit. So is the change of another body, the embodied for the embodied soul. Wise men are not deluded. Dhiras tatranamit. See, today where you are, is the body same as the body which you had in childhood? Obviously not. There have been so many changes. Billions of cells have died, new cells have come. Absolutely, it's a totally Supposing you have kept that somewhere, a portion for testing, and if you test, they'll be totally different in that sense. So similarly, as we go on, the body keeps on shedding the old one, acquires new cells, their new, and goes on and on. Similarly, after this jara also, when the body dies, again it is going to get a new body. Logically, if you think that, see, first of all, one thing is to understand from the scriptures, from the great souls, etc., how it is all said, how it is all discussed. That's one thing. Now, if you study your own samskaras, your own tendencies, your own behaviors, we get clear indications that we have come with something from the past. What's the difference between person to person? All have two eyes, 2 ears, 2 legs, everything. But one person is so like this, one person entirely different. Where from they get it? You may say genes, then where they have got it. So somewhere, you can trace it to something. And also, the kind of thing, father and mother, so noble, so wonderful. What kind of a decoy-like child? Our father and mother are useless. जैसे कीचड़ में पद्म फूल खिलता है वैसे बच्चा, so wonderful, unbelievable. So we see again and again, if you study human life, so many things totally inexplicable. आप सब कुछ यही जन्म से समझना चाहते हैं तो you will be completely befooled, totally confused. क्योंकि बहुत सारे चीज ऐसी ऐसी आपका दिखाएगा, अरे just nothing to do with this life. Not only that, quite often you somewhere you go, you suddenly feel that it's not new. I've been here. This place is so familiar. अभी तो बहुत सारी प्रमाण भी हो चुका है. There have been instances where they got hold of a young boy, some Tinku or Titu or somebody. वो पहले कहाँ सा उसका दुकान था. There he was murdered. He went and showed, this is my shop. He identified the lady widow as his farmer wife and this and that. So it's all been now beyond a point. Even otherwise also, see, what is the nature of the soul? What is the nature of our life? How does it end? How is this? The end is possible only if you clearly understand beyond doubt we are that undying Atman. When the total realization comes, when you're totally free from any attachment, when you're totally free from desire, when you're totally pure, then only the cycle ends. Otherwise, it keeps on happening again and again. So, that is why, just like, it's a journey, just as from childhood to youth to old age, and it's a journey continues beyond that, when this body can no longer be held together. एक बार तो हर चीज का एक अंत होता है ना. ये बॉडी कितनी दिन आप रख सकते हैं? सो हो गया, कभी कभी किसी को 100 साल तक भी चलता है, सबको किसी को 60-65 में खत्म हो जाता है. बट देन अगेन दैट्स व्हाई दे से there are 3 types of this thing in our own body: the sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, karan sharira. What goes is only the sthula sharira or the gross body. The subtle body and the causal body, they go together and they take shelter in a new body, and again the journey continues. So he says, that is why dhiraha, the wise people, na muhyati, they are not confused, they are not deluded. They know this is the nature. The journey continues from childhood to youth to old age to next body, etc. And then matra sparshast kaunteya शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमा पायिनो नित्याः ताम तितिक्षस्व भारत. So he says the contact of the senses with their objects generates cold and heat, pleasure and pain. Matra sparshas kaunteya, oh the son of Kunti, sitoshna sukha dukkada. All those things, sita, the sense of cold, sense of heat, and then the sukha, dukkha, pain and pleasure, they are all generated by the contact of the senses with the sense objects. And then we'll explain this. Agama payino nitya tam titikshashva bharata. Therefore, they come and go, being the impermanent nature. Agama payino anitya, actually. Agama payino anitya. They are of the nature of coming and going. And then tam titikshasva bharata. Therefore, O son of the Bharata clan or race, bear with them patiently. You know, see what is the real secret of life? Everyone goes through experiences, pain, pleasure, these, that. There's no end to that. See, contact of senses with the sense objects, मान लीजिए आपके सामने बहुत बड़ा एक प्लेट में बहुत सारे खाने का चीज, मिठाई सब, रसगुल्ला, अमृति, संदेश सब रखा है। आप तो दूसरी तरह देखिए, आपको देखा ही नहीं। Will it produce any sense of pleasure in you? वो बहुत अच्छी चीज खा लेंगे। Only when you look at them, then you get the impression, ओ रसगुल्ला, ओ संदेश है, बहुत अच्छा है, हमारा दे दे तो अच्छा है, नहीं देते हैं प्रसाद, that can produce. And similarly with respect to ear, with respect to this, so many things, everything is because of the contact of the senses with the sense objects. Not only that, it's not only this thing, it's very explained very briefly. Beyond that, the impressions are carried to the mind, and the mind, sankalpa vikalpa is trying to understand whether it's amriti or sandesh, whatever it is. Then finally, nisyatmika buddhi, at the level of the buddhi, is finally it is settled whether it is amriti or sandesh. Then it comes back. Then the knowledge arises in the mind. Oh, this is so and so. कई बार मान लीजिए आपके सामने कुछ रखा है, but your mind is totally somewhere else. आप आँख खुला है लेकिन आप दिखते नहीं है। अरे आप देख नहीं पा रहे हैं, देख नहीं पा रहे। Then when you are awakened, हाँ ऐसे कोई आया सामने खड़ा है, but you are simply absorbed in some other thought. कुछ घटा, कुछ हुआ, उसके बारे में ऐसे विचलित होकर आप कहाँ देखते रहते हैं। अरे मैं खड़ा हूँ 10 मिनट, देखते नहीं हो अच्छा आया, कब आया। So only when not only the senses should contact the sense objects. In a real sense, the mind should be behind that. Otherwise, even if you see also, it's useful. You're as good as blind. Nothing. So it's very important. And this is what produces pain and pleasure. कैसे कैसे क्यों कर देते हैं गर्हित काम सब, इतना तेज है उसका, तुरंत संदेश भेजता है, तुरंत निर्णय लेता, काटो मारो अभी अभी खत्म करो, बस उसके बाद बहुत पछता है, रे ऐसा कर बैठा। लेकिन that moment the senses are so powerful. So the real secret is how you can take control of the senses, how they can be made your servant, how they can be used for a good purpose. है ना, सब कुछ में आप कोई किसी को देखते हैं, आपको सामने उसके अंदर दुश्मन भी देख सकते हैं, अच्छे व्यक्ति भी सकते हैं. So your ability to know, to understand, handle the senses properly, the whole secret is, इसकी ना हर जगह कहते हैं ना संयम जीवन. किसी के सामने आप ताली की ताली आप ले चलते हैं, नहीं मेरा नहीं, चलो क्यों, अरे दे दो, जब भी आ रहा है सब दे दो, इतना लेके बैठता है, खाती बस बहुत सारे बीमारी. Is it not? What is the difference? Everything is coming, but here, although the senses are coming in contact, जब ultimate message आता है, reject, दिखता है, लेकिन still he avoids pain and pleasure because he knows that this is the result. Otherwise, we keep on responding, you constantly expand sukha dukha, इसमें oscillate करते जीवन खत्म हो जाता है. कई लोग करते हैं ना, बहुत खाया, घर आ गया, फिर झगड़, फिर अगले दिन गया, कहाँ घूमने के लिए, घूमना, फिर झगड़, ऐसे जीवन सुख दुख में करते करते पूरी तरह एकदम बर्बाद. So senses are always there, ever ready, but should we really go and sit on the sense objects? That is there. So these experiences are of the nature of coming and going. Agama paino anitya tam titikshasya bal. So forbear. What is the result? Who is the person? ठंड में, हाँ, अब जितना भी आप चढ़ाओ तो फिर भी ठंड लगता है किसी को, हाँ, 1 2 3 कोट वगैरह सब कुछ, Some people simple, कुछ भी नहीं है. There is one monk in a Delhi center. एकदम जहाँ 0-1 डिग्री में भी मैं तो ऐसी मफलर ले लिया, सिंपल शर्ट धोती उतने ही, और कुछ नहीं. Why? Titikshasva Bharata. Titiksha. Titisha is so important in our life. Forbearance. कई तरीका है. इसलिए ना विवेक में कहते हैं ना, सहनम सर्व दुखानाम अप्रतीकार पूर्वकम चिंता विलापरहितम सा तितिक्षा दिगत. व्हाट इज तितिक्षा? सहनम सर्व दुखानाम. क्योंकि सब तो प्लेजर एवरीबडी कैन टेक इजीली, बट दुखा nobody can digest, nobody can withstand, nobody can accept. मेरा क्यों ऐसा हुआ? मैं तो कुछ नहीं किया, मेरा क्यों हुआ? बाकी लोग सब ठीक चल रहा है, मेरा क्यों नहीं? So this dukkha constantly because of all that. But if you can really forbear, sahanam sarva dukkhanam, आप सहन कर सकते हैं. कैसे? अप्रतीकार पूर्वक. प्रतिकार नहीं करेंगे. कोई आपका बोला, आपका क्या सहन किया? 10 गालियां दे दिया. दैट इज नॉट सहना. कुछ घट गया, आप भी कुछ कर बेटा, दैट इज नॉट सहना. अप्रतीकार पूर्वक, कोई प्रतिकार नहीं करेंगे. ठीक है. द हाईएस्ट आइडियल, द बेस्ट वे टू लिव ए लाइफ. यू विल never have any difficulty, never have a problem, because कोई कुछ बोला ठीक है. And logically also it is, if you understand, it is easy, because मान लीजिए आपके सामने कोई आके 10 शब्दों कहा दिया, मान लीजिए, unless you think that it is told to me, आपकी रिएक्शन क्यों होगा ना? जब भी हम उसने अरे मेरे गाली दे दिया, मेरे ऐसा बोला, then you start reacting. अरे बोला दीवार की बोला, मेरा क्या है? अब यहाँ बोल रहा है, मैं सुन रहा हूँ, दीवार बाहर खड़ा हो गए, इसके भी 100 शब्द भी बोले, मेरा तो पता नहीं होता है. मैं क्यों उसके ऊपर, मैं क्यों जुड़ा हूँ उसके साथ? Why should I get connected? If you can understand, imagine how the life will be. ना, because we react immediately, because we are not, सहन शक्ति नहीं है, तुरंत रिएक्ट करते हैं, उस कारण से ये सब हो जाता है. Is it not? Because we react, because we think it relates to me. किसके बारे में? मान लीजिए आपके बोला, अरे आप बुद्धू है. क्या बुद्धू है? किस लिए बुद्धू है? किस विषय पे? मैं भी एक विषय में नहीं जानता हूँ, 10 सब्जेक्ट में जानता हूँ, तुम नहीं जानते हो. तुम क्या उस सब में बुद्धू हो? So you know, there is no logic to anything which anyone says about us. कोई बोला इतना सुंदर है, कोई बोला अरे इतना बुरा है देखने के लिए. कौन सा सत्य है? अरे तुम तो इतने बोल रहे हैं बुरा, अब भी आके कोई बोल के क्या कितना सुंदर है, मैं क्या तुम्हारा बात लो ना, उसकी बात सुनो. So everything, you know, always, मैं जैसे हूँ मैं ऐसे दिखता हूँ. मेरे अंदर सुंदरता है, मैं सब सुंदर देखूंगा. मेरे अंदर बुरा है, मैं सबको बुरा देखूंगा. So you know, that is how we should understand. अरे उसके अंदर यही भाव है, इसीलिए सबको दुश्मन दिखता है. That's why he is thinking everybody is horrible, everybody is criminal, everybody is crooked. There is somebody who will say, the first thing you will say, immediately they will suspect. वो क्यों बोल रहे हैं? से कुछ मतलब है, कुछ धंधा है. Nothing can they take straightforward, as simple. That's a very complicated mind, a very, very pathetic mind. Something you believe, that is wonderful. And the ability to see good in everything. हम लोग महाराज थे, आपके यहाँ भी कोई दीक्षित होंगे, रंगनाथन जी महाराज, lived up to 95-96 years. Always positive, always positive. सब कुछ में अच्छा क्या है. हाँ, ऐसे ही उन्होंने ऐसे किया. हम लोग बड़ा अस्पताल में बहुत बड़ा स्ट्राइक हो रहा है, सब एम्प्लॉइज ऑन स्ट्राइक. Why they are striking? Please give all of them one set complete works. अब स्वामी जी complete works दे दो, सब ठीक हो जाए. इतना पॉजिटिव. कोई बोला ऐसा लालू प्रसाद केसेस चल रहा है, no, go and give him. He made that Patna month, go and give one set of complete works to लालू यादव. ऐसे बाद में कोई फंक्शन में हम लोग नहीं बुलाए, खुद आ गया, स्वामी के ऊपर इतना सुंदर बोला वो. सो इसी ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव. बहुत ही उनका बहुत लोग किताब बेचते थे, बिकॉज ही वाज अ वेरी वरेशियस रीडर. लेकिन when he became old, he could not read that much. किसी ने साधु को दिया, बहुत बड़ा पंडित साधु, बहुत सुंदर साधु, उसके दिया, तुम पढ़ो. ओ पढ़ के बोला, महाराज उसमें कुछ भी नहीं है, सच ए यूजलेस बुक. महाराज वुड नॉट एक्सेप्ट. There's nothing. There's not even one good point. Not even one good point. That is nature. So, if you do it like that, Titiksha is a very big word. It's not only bluntly accepting. That's why in the next line it says, Chinta Vilaparahitam. उसके बारे में अकेला बैठ बैठ के चिंता मत करो. Don't sit alone and keep on thinking, why it happened, why it happened. Such a rogue, such a cruel person, such a rascal. He told me this, he cheated. Nothing. Gone, gone. Chinta vilaparahitam. That is the tiksha. That is defined as the tiksha. Not only you will tolerate apratikara purvakam without protest, and then chinta vilaparahitam. Akela बैठ के सोचो मत. Because people, how they go into depression, how they go into see psychological disorder. अकेला बैठ के ऐसा हुआ, मेरे ऐसे किया, मेरा साथ ऐसा हुआ. नो, जो हुआ वो खत्म. आगे चलो, आगे चलो, आगे चलो. क्या है देखो. That's why he says. So he says, देहांतर. So agama payino anitya tam titikshasva bharata. You just tolerate all of them. Sahan kar lo. Then no problem. So, because he sees all those people arrayed in front, they are coming, they are producing a reaction in his mind. Oh, all these people will die. What happened? I'll be accused of killing them. I would have committed the murder of my acharyas, relatives, everybody. No, don't think like that. सहन करो, आपकी कुछ जिम्मेवारी है. You are here because of a particular cause. You are here because you are wanted in a particular way. Discharge your duties. Do it without anything. Then it is possible. Then yam hina vathayante te purusham purushashabha samadukka sukam dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. So, he is Purushashabha, is a leader of men. Actually, then they are yam hina vathayante, is unperturbed, is not disturbed. Samadukka sukham, is viewing sukha and dukkha alike. In both and in sukha and dukkha, he is not perturbed at all. Yam hina vathayante, he is not perturbed either in sukha or in dukkha. So he is considered a dhira. These things do not disturb him. These things do not disturb him at all. He is indeed worthy of immortality. So amritatvaya kalpate. Because the human goal ultimately is to become immortal, undying, go beyond the samsara sagara, go beyond the cycle of birth and death and attain to immortality. Immortality means never to come back, completely conquer this idea of birth and death. How it is possible? If you are alike in sukha dukkha. See, first he said, sahanam sarva dukkhanam. That is one step. That is, though when the senses come into sense objects, they only produce pleasure and pain. You bear with them. So he says, titikshasva. Now he goes one step. Forget about pleasure. What is the thing? What really disturbs us is not only, normally what happens when we get anything good, we are over the moon. Kitna celebration, kitna bolna, sabko ye karna, khilana, ye karna. Again, it's going to change after some time. Then again, dukkha also in such a deep fashion, totally overpowered by sukha. So he says both in sukha and dukkha should be unperturbed. अच्छा हुआ, अच्छा हुआ, ठीक है. I see people day and night doting, oh महाराज देखिए, my daughter is this, my son is this, my son-in-law is this. अरे ज्यादा मत करो, 2 दिन बाद में तो बदलेगा, आप क्या करोगे उस समय? अच्छा रिजल्ट, ठीक है. Then you'll be able to say कुछ हुआ, अच्छा हुआ, don't worry, it will also go away. This will also pass. Everything will pass. So it's equally important to learn how to remain unperturbed in sukha. Is not only are we overpowered by dukkha, we are completely, at a loss. not knowing what to do. Similarly, sukha also completely, overpowers us quite often. Pleasure is also equally problematic. Again, we do so much. Why? When you do like that, the opposite will also affect you equally badly. If you are so much, in a mood to celebrate or enjoy or have so much of pleasure out of sukha, then dukkha also will bring you in equal measure. So if you learn to adjust, ठीक है, अच्छा हुआ, अच्छा रिजल्ट आया, ठीक है, अच्छा नौकरी मिला, मिला, ठीक, 2 दिन बाद कहाँ कितनी बड़े बड़े कंपनी से निकाल देते हैं, उस समय क्या करोगे, अरे ये तो 2 महीने हुआ, इतना बड़ा पोस्ट भी अभी भी निकाल दिया, निकाल दिया. देयर इज सम डाउनसाइजिंग, दे वांट टू रिड्यूस देयर स्टाफ, सो टॉप लेवल से पहले निकाल रहे हैं क्योंकि उससे बहुत ही बचत होगा सैलरी का. सो पहले ऊपर सब चटाई करो, बाद में नीचे दिखता हूँ. So anything. So life is so uncertain. So it's so important. That's why he says sama dukkha sukham. In both dhira, they are sama and sukha and dukkha. So they are not perturbed. Yam hina vathayante. Here they are not disturbed by all these happenings. Whether it is sukha or dukkha, they are not perturbed, and they remain alike and stable in both. That's so important. So, dukkha to we understand. For dukkha, one should not get perturbed, one should accept it as God's will or samskara, whatever it is. Much more important is not to go overboard while having sukha or pleasure or this or that. Again, immediately that leads to disaster. No, supposing sukha, you go eat indiscriminately, immediately pain. पेट खराब है, बुखार है, ये है, उल्टी है, then some this disease, that disease. Anything you do excess, immediately to have its opposite effect. You do then recklessly whatever you do. So if you are balanced, the dukkha also will be tolerable. Dukkha also will be able to withstand because you have never been overtly celebrating about sukha. So dukkha also, yes, that happened, this also happened. Again, sukha will happen. It all keeps on in cycle. That's why he says, agama paino anitya. They come and go, they come and go, they come and go constantly. And then he says, nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayorapi drishtontaha, taneyo tattvadarshinaha, taneyo tattvadarshibhi. So you see, he says, the unreal can never come into existence. Nasato vidyate bhavo. Asat, na asat vidyate bhavo. The unreal cannot come into existence. Na abhavo vidyate sataha. Similarly, the real can never cease to be. So, ubhayorapi drishtontaha sanayo tattvadarshibhi. So, the wise philosophers who have known the truth, tattvadarshibhi, about this, the real and the unreal, they only are the real tattvadarshi who have known the nature of this. Ubhayorapi drishtontaha. Those who know about the nature of the real and unreal, they are the real wise philosophers. They have known the truth. They alone have known the truth. So, what is this? That which is non-existence can never come into existence. That which is existence can never go into. So, this play on these words, Sat and Asat. So, see, if this is simply taken as, by Sat meaning unreal, and Asat, Sat meaning real and Asat meaning unreal, if you take literally, then it only look like a repetition. Because you see, the how can you really say unreal can never come into existence? There is nothing like you cannot experience this unreal at all, is it not? Unreal is not something. These are some of the classic examples they gave in Vedanta. Vandhya Putra, the son of a barren woman, or Akash, the flowers in the sky, or the horns of a hare. So the Sringa. So these are all imaginations only. So asat can never be actually experience that way. Asat is something is only an imagination or kalpana. But if you think that asat, here if you feel that the author, Sri Krishna Bhagavan, is meaning that which is of not a permanent nature. That which is not of a permanent nature doesn't get that kind of an existence. So, because the life is, everything is changing. So, our childhood body, the youthful body, all that, they've all gone. So they are asset, they are unreal. So many such good clothes, such good facilities, cars, houses, phones, and other gadgets, and this and that. They all look wonderful. But after some time, they all go away. They all lose their meaning, they lose their value. अरे junk है अभी, उसका फेंकना ही है, अरे कोई use नहीं है, पुराने है. So so that is a nature of asset or the unreal. So that can never come into a real existence, or that can never have a permanent existence. Here, no, if you simply take here as asat and sat as temporary and permanent, then you can explain it in one way. Otherwise, that which is absolutely unreal, obviously it cannot come into existence at all. How can unreal come into existence? If the unreal is like that, the son of a barren woman, that kind of the Akash Kusham, that kind of an unreality, obviously you can never find it. And similarly, but if you give this interpretation by unreal, meaning that which is really of a very temporary nature, of an impermanent nature, that can never come into any real existence. It will always be only for a short period of time, and then it will go. This period of time can vary between 1 year to 50 years or whatever it is, but this will all go. But then what that is real, that Atman, that undying witness, that consciousness, that never dies, is always there. At least when you see, it was always there when my childhood, my youth, now when I am awake, when I sleep, when I dream, in deep sleep, everywhere. Now though we understand this I is not the ahankara, that Atman or that witness. The ahankara has, kama, krodha, all those factors. But this I is absolutely without any qualities, just a witness, pure consciousness. Then, it has a ability. It's only constantly watching everything. It's always there. It never disappears. In dream, yes, in dream also it is there. The scenario changes. The objects are not there. Physically nothing is there. But that awareness, that I, the Atman, is always there. So the Sat, the real, never vanishes. What about deep sleep? Yes, it was there. Deep, actually, someone put it. It's really, in deep sleep also, ultimately, the senses are not there. Then when this awareness is there, how do we understand? When we get up. When we get up, we recollect. Oh, I slept beautifully. I slept very well. I was in such a blissful state. If you have a good sleep, that's one of the best feelings you get when you get up. So there was a witness. This I was also there, even in deep sleep. But only thing is, there were no objects. There was not even the mind. In dream, the mind is very active. Its mind only projects all those images from your past experience, present experience, previous life experience, from everywhere it brings out, and projects before you various scenes. So the more the fertile mind, the more the dreams you have, keep on dreaming. But then in deep sleep, the mind is also not there. Mind is also completely silent, non-functional. Then there's only this pure awareness is all that remains. And then when you wake up, from that you recollect, yes, I had a wonderful sleep. I was so happy. So the Sat never disappears. It's always there, even in deep sleep. The Asat, all that is impermanent, all that is temporal, all that is of the nature of vanishing, all that, they come and go, they come and go, they come and go. They have no real existence. They are there for a very temporary time. So they are impermanent in that sense. Whereas this is permanent, eternal. Always, always you feel it. Never it deserts you. So, I think that's why these and the few slokas, he keeps on, the Lord is explaining beautifully the nature of ourself, who we are, what we are. So, that is how it goes on. And then what he says, Avinashi tu tad vidhi, yena sarvamidam tatam, vinashamabhyasyasya nakaschit kartumarhati. Avinashi, tu tad vidhi, yena sarvamidam. Know that reality, tad vidhi, yena sarvamidam tatam. All these things that is pervaded by that, avinashi, that is indestructible. Vinashamavayasya nakaschit kar. No one can cause the destruction of this immutable being. Vinashamavayasya asya vinashamabhyasya nakaschit kartumarhati. No one can destroy that. Somebody can be killed, the body can be destroyed, it can be burnt, but that Atman will be there to go to another body, the Sukshma and Karna Sharira, it will go. So this is always there, eternal, undying. It never deserts us even for a second. We feel it one way in this body. So is it the same everywhere? Yes, everywhere it is this. For everyone, the same I-ness, or minus, or me, that is there in everybody. Everybody is experiencing. But all their experiences are different because their senses and the sense objects are all different. You have a very powerful eye. Without glasses, you can see 100 feet. Someone has a -8 or -10 power, cannot see even 2 rows. But the same eye, the same witness, in his case also it is functioning. In the other case also the same witness, the same eye. So it's all same. Ultimately, it's the same. If the qualities of the two eye are all same, they are one and the same only. But then the medium, the experiences, etc., are all changing constantly. They are varied, etc., because the instruments, the other supporting thing, they are all different. But essentially, it is the same thing. So, that's why he says the nature is completely indestructible. It cannot be destroyed by anything. Even if you burn, even if you kill, even if you destroy, because that will not go. At any point of time, of course, nobody can really experience one's own death. Actually, their the post-death experiences people have given, but just at that moment, God knows what happens. But then also, as long as the last breath is there, his eye is constantly felt by us. The witness, the Atman, the indwelling self. That's the experience of everybody. And once you give up the body, it's very clear it goes to transmigratory process, it goes to another body, again it is felt. Only this body is cast up like Swamiji said somewhere, like a worn out garment. It is cast aside because it's no longer useful. But the witness, the eye, the Atman, that continues. It is there forever. That's why he says, Avinashi tu tad vidhi. Tad vidhi. Know that to be avinashi, indestructible. Huh? So, yena sarvam idam tatam. So, that which pervades all in this world, what is the thing? What is the commonality? Commonality is that indestructible Atman or Brahman or that indwelling spirit. The same, you, me, everybody, it's all. When they say, even the inanimate, these, that, everything, inside all that, there's only that. These are all only the some external manifestations, external ideas which have no real existence, no real substance. So it goes on and on and on like that. That can never be destroyed. No one can destroy that. So that will be the continuing permanently. So we shall take it for the next time. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.